Welcome to RMM Central free training. Let us go through a brief about the training schedule. This training is going to happen in 2 sessions. Session 1, we will talk about how to set up the RMM Central and gain knowledge about how the network monitoring from the RMM Central works. The next session, we will talk about endpoint management from the RMM Central, and we would also talk about the RMM and the PSA integrations. Today, we will talk on the session 1 and what does ManageEngine has for MSPs. So as an MSP solutions, ManageEngine offers a wide variety of tool sets, starting from your professional service automation tools, your endpoint management tools, mobile device management, privileged access management, Active Directory, log management, cloud-based remote monitoring, privileged account management, IT operations, and the remote monitoring and management, which we would be focusing on today. Let's quickly look on the agenda for today's session. Let's talk about the overview of what ManageEngine RMM Central is. We would further discuss about the architecture and the workflow. We'll know more about how to set up the product, and we would also talk about how to onboard the customers, and we would talk more in detail about the network monitoring from this RMM Central. Let us know what RMM Central is at the first place. RMM Central from ManageEngine is a one-stop solution where that helps you to manage and monitor the endpoints, and it would also help you to monitor your network infrastructure for your MSPs. And this also helps you to automate the complete IT management under one single roof. You take care of your endpoints and your network devices both from the single console. With RMM Central, MSPs can discover, manage, monitor, and secure all their client devices under one roof. And that is what RMM Central is. A quick overview of the features provided by RMM Central. The one you see on the screen is all the features you've got with the product, where you've got multi-tenant architecture support, a very simplified customer onboarding, and automated network discovery, multi-vendor networking monitoring support, servers, virtual environment support, fault detection, escalation of those alerts to the respective management team. You also have a patch management for your endpoint devices, one-click remote access to all the remote endpoints being managed, a complete asset management. You also would be able to manage and monitor the configurations of your network devices, the security automation, and we also have a better networking reporting and analytics from the RMM Central toolset. What is an RMM Central talks about? Device management. We do monitor any type of devices, the endpoints like desktops, laptops, servers, mobile devices, and much more. When we talk about monitoring devices, we do monitor any type of devices which has an IP address in it, like it can be servers, switches, routers, firewalls, load balancers, virtual machines, printers, storage devices, anything as such. What are the servers supported? We do support Windows, Linux, Unix, Solaris, virtual environment like VMware, Hyper-V, Nutanix, and Zen platforms as well. So for the management perspective, what are the supported OS? We do support the endpoints with the OS like Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, TV OS, Chrome OS, and iPad OS as well. Now, RMM Central is available on both Windows Azure Marketplace and AWS Marketplace as well. Now let's see, how does this work? To explain how this works, this image can deliver a better understanding for you on the architecture of this RMM Central. So this is where you've got your customer 1, and you would be able to see the server infrastructure and a secure gateway server where the communication happens from the rest of the customers to the MSP's main installation. So that's the secure gateway you've got in between. And you've got one customer with the remote office where you've got distribution servers, probe servers, managing all the networking and the endpoints. And it gets connected to multiple customers. You can have multiple customers across, and all of them can connect through the main central structure through a secure gateway server. This is a simple explanation about how the RMM server architecture is. Now let us see how to set up the product. To download RMM Central, go to the RMM Central website, click on download, and here you can download the RMM Central servers exe. Now let's talk about how do you onboard the customers' networks. Once installed, let's check about the admin features. So click on admin, customers, and the first thing we do is to add customers. So click on add customer, provide the name of the customer, the company name, and few other details of the company, and click on add customer. By this, you have successfully added a customer. To add the remote offices of the customer, click on remote offices, add remote office, select the customer we have created, and provide the name for the remote office. And you can fill in the rest of the information like proxy, NAT details, and the communication details, whether we do through a distribution server or we connect via direct communication, and select the replication policy and click save. Once the customers and remote offices are all set, you click on the remote office created, and here you would see the details of the remote office. Here you see the probe exe and the probe key. So you click on the probe exe, download the probe and install on the respective remote office. Use the probe key while installing the probe. The next thing we would see is about user administration. So how to create users to log in to the RMM Central. So you click on user administration, and you can see the secure authentication methods where we have got your password policy and the two-factor authentication. Now let's see how to add users. Click on add user, and you enter the name of the user, and you can select the role as per your choice. And when you choose customer administrator, you see all the customers listed down. You can select the customer and save that. If you need an administrator user, you would be able to see the entire administration for the RMM Central. And when you choose technician, you can choose as per the technician role for a particular customer. So once the users are all created, you have few other security settings like importing the SSL certificates, SAML authentication, and much more. The network monitoring from RMM Central. What are the capabilities of the network monitoring in this tool is what we would discuss further. Now let's see the monitoring settings. So here when you click on monitoring, you see all the probe details which we have installed, and on the customers, when you select the respective customer, we do have an opportunity to select all of these options. So when you select the respective customer, the first thing we do is to create a credential library. So RMM Central supports multiple credentials: SNMP v1, v2, v3, Windows, Telnet SSH, VMware, and much more. So select the respective credential, provide the details, and click save. So likewise, you create multiple credentials and set up a credential library. Once the credentials are all set, then we move on to network discovery. Click on new discovery. Provide the name of the network discovery, and you have multiple options to choose from. We have got IP range, subnets, importing from the Active Directory, and import from CSV as well. So when we say, let's choose IP range and provide a range of an IP address. So in this range, let's say for example, you might have different type of devices. In this range of 192.168.2.10 to 2.200, you may have desktops, production servers, test environments, UAT devices, routers, firewalls, load balancers, switches, and much more. So there are cases where we do not want to monitor the UAT devices or the test environment. So you click on want to ignore devices and select the condition or the type and provide the range of an IP address of the UAT devices so that it would be ignored while discovering. So select the appropriate credentials and click on discover and import so that the complete range would get discovered and be added to the inventory. So let's go to monitoring and take an example and see how the device would look like in the inventory. Just click on the device and you would be able to see the summary of the device with all its device details, the availability, packet loss and response time dials, and then you've got your interfaces, active process, install softwares, and all type of monitors for that particular device. So we've got a wide range of support for different type of monitors for a particular device. Let's see them in detail soon. Now let's see how to add a storage device. So now this is where you would be able to go ahead and then see the remote offices of the customers. So we have already chosen a customer and the customer might have different remote offices. So select the respective remote office and start discovering the devices from the respective remote offices. Now let's see how to discover the interfaces. So we have got criteria based discovery. We select the device criteria. Let's say the category of the device equals routers. So all of my routers which has the interface type as Ethernet, and there are a few other criteria which I would like to give, like the admin status equals up, the operational status equals up, and the speed of the interface should be equals to 100 Mbps. So any of the device which falls into router category, and if these criteria matches, only of those interfaces would get discovered. The interface discovery is made that simple. Now let's talk about virtualization discovery. We have VMware, Hyper-V, Xen, and Nutanix discovery. So when we talk about VMware, we do have both vCenter discovery and ESX discovery as well. So in the vCenter discovery, we provide the IP address of the vCenter and the respective VMware credential and click discover, and that should be good for you to get the complete virtualization picture from the vCenter. Likewise, we have it for the Hyper-V, Xen, and the Nutanix environment as well. Now let's see how to add the wireless LAN controller. So wireless LAN controller, provide the IP address and select the respective model of the wireless LAN controller you have. If you've got a wide range of devices supported, select the appropriate SNMP credentials and click add device so that the entire wireless LAN controller would get discovered. So we also do support Meraki, IPMI, UCS, and Cisco's ACI devices. Click on the respective tabs and add the respective devices that easy. Now let's talk about device templates. Device templates are the one which helps you to classify and categorize the devices. App Manager does have more than 11,000 plus device templates. Based on the devices in the market, we update these device templates very often. For example, we can click on a 3Com wireless device. You can see a device identifier which is very unique. So based on the unique device identifier, we classify the devices and mark them in the device template. Let's say we search for a Cisco device and choose Cisco's 1400 series router. We do see a unique device identifier for the 1400 device, and we do also have the default set of performance monitors for this Cisco's 1400 series routers. Once the device is identified with the device identifier, we automatically classify and categorize the device and mark the device as Cisco 1400 and associate all these performance metrics automatically. So immediately after discovery, the classification is made very simple. Now, as the discovery is completed, let us talk about the performance monitors, the network monitoring for the devices in this RMM Central. So the first monitoring we would talk about is performance monitors. You have a lot of performance monitors, more than 2000 plus, based on the different type of devices, vendor and its respective SNMP OIDs. So these are available by default, where you can go ahead and then associate them in addition, or by default it gets associated with the help of device templates. So you can add a new monitor whenever required with free of cost, where you provide the SNMP OID and then you can just very well go ahead and then add a new monitor. The next thing we will talk about is application monitors, where if the RMM Central identifies these devices as Active Directory, MS SQL or Exchange servers, we will be able to associate those respective application monitors to those application servers. And you can very well go ahead and then set thresholds for each and every monitor and apply the configuration. Next, we would talk about Windows service monitoring. So any services which runs on a Windows machine can be captured. To add a new Windows service, click on Add. Fetch from the respective device using a credential library or the associated credential. Click Next, and then you would be able to fetch the entire list of Windows services from the device. For example, let's say we'll edit the Prince Spooler Windows service. We get an opportunity to generate alarms. Also, we can go ahead and then restart the service, restart the server, or take no action on the particular Windows service on the server, provided you have the WMI admin privilege credentials given to discover these devices. You can very well go ahead and then save this particular configuration and associate them to multiple devices at the same time. Now, let's talk about VMware events. Exclusively for VMware, we have got a lot of events covered. So basically, we have got 23 events which we consider very important to be associated for a VMware, like the migrated event, relocated event, or a renamed event, or anything as such. To add more VMware events, just click Add, and then you can fetch from the respective vCenter, and you can add as many as VMware events you wish. Next, we'll talk about process. So any process which runs on a Windows machine or a Linux box, you can just go ahead and then capture the process, and it can let you know about the CPU, the memory, and the instances of the processes it runs. So you select the device, select the respective protocol, and then move next. You would be able to fetch all the processes listed from the device, and you can start monitoring the respective process as well. Now, let's talk about the other features like files and folder monitoring. To monitor a particular file from the Windows device, just click on the File Monitor, provide the name of the template, provide the complete file path which needs to be monitored, and you can monitor the existence of the file. You want them to be alerted if it doesn't exist, or if it does exist. You can monitor the size of the file. You can set threshold values for the size of the file, and if it grows anything above 10 MB, you want that to be created an alert. Very well, you can go ahead and then do that. Or you want to check on the age of the file, or you wish to notify when there is a modification on the file. We can just select those and then go ahead and then save the respective file template and associate to multiple devices, and that particular file would be monitored and you would be able to gain alerts. Likewise, you can start monitoring your folders as well by creating a new folder monitor. Provide the name of the template. Provide the path of the folder. To monitor the subfolders, and you would be able to monitor the existence of the folder, the size of the folder, the modification of the folder, and you can also monitor the file name contains the size and age and the file count in the respective folder, and you can just associate to multiple devices. Next monitoring we're going to talk about is service monitors. Service monitors are nothing but monitoring a particular TCP port to telnet the respective port, check whether that particular port is open for connection or not, is what you do it from the service monitors. We also have your URLs covered, where you can create a URL monitor, provide the entire URL, and even if you wish to match the content, you can match the content, check whether that content is available in the particular URL, and then gain or trigger alerts respectively. So you can just completely monitor the URLs. And the next things we're going to talk about is event logs, SNMP traps, and syslog rules. So this is all about these event logs, traps, and syslogs will be forwarded from the network device to Op Manager, and instantly you would get a real-time alerts. So event log rules are nothing but the events which is collected from the Windows boxes. We've got default list of rules. And if you wanted to create a new event log monitor, click add. And then you can just select the log file name and provide the respective details of the role name, the ID of the event, the source, category, and multiple other information, so that whenever the respective event happens on a Windows machine, RMM Central's monitoring can capture that and then help you to generate alerts from the same. The next is SNMP trap processors. SNMP trap processors are nothing but you receive the traps from the network device and convert them into a meaningful alert. There are few predefined SNMP trap rules which is set. In case you want to add a new one, you can just very well add them as well. So first, let's go ahead and then click on trap settings and enable the trap processing. So once the trap processing is enabled, you can select the devices to which the traps have to be processed from and save this configuration. And you could see now the traps is receiving in progress. So to add a new trap, you can just click on load from MIPS or directly add them manually. Click on load from MIPS. You see all the MIPS loaded. Any new MIP which you need to add, just you can download from the vendor site and copy them under Op Manager MIPS directory. So when you select the respective MIP, all the possible trap processors from that MIP would be listed. Select the processors which you want to add, save them. You could see that the trap processors are added successfully. To add a trap processor manually, just click add, and then you will have to provide the trap OID and a couple of more details about matching which criteria needs to generate alert and clear the alerts, and then probably save them. Next, we're going to talk about syslog rules. So the rules from the firewall through syslogs. So these are the syslogs from your firewall device. We can convert the syslogs, parse the syslogs into a meaningful alerts by creating a rule. First, let's set up the syslog ports. Click on syslog port, and these are the default ports. And if you wish to add an additional port on which you want to receive syslogs, you can add that port. And here is where you see the number of syslogs which is coming in the flow per second. Click save. Now to add a new syslog rule, click add. Provide few details about the name of the syslog, the rule details, the severity, and much more. And now your syslog's rule is all set. So next, we're going to talk about script templates. So Script templates are exclusively designed in order to make sure we give you the complete liberty to take control of any of the scripts and execute them on the remote machine and get the expected results from them. So apart from any of the communication protocol like SNMP, WMI, Telnet or SSH, if you do not get the results as expected, you can just very well go ahead and then write the scripts of your own and execute them on different devices and get the results as the same. So when we just get back to the device from inventory, you could see these monitors. You could see the performance monitors, the Windows services, files, folders, services, URLs, and all of the monitors we have discussed is readily available on the device, and that is by default. Additionally, you could see all these installed softwares, active processes, interfaces, and much more for a particular device in the inventory. Now, let's see how to set threshold values for a device or multiple devices so that we can get the alerts at the right time. To set threshold values for multiple devices, click on the device templates, and here is where you could see all the device templates. Select the respective device templates to which you wanted to set thresholds for. Click edit threshold, and you can see all the monitors listed down here. Set the values for attention, trouble, and critical, and you could see all of these different monitors available right here. Set the threshold values for multiple monitors, save, and associate to multiple devices at the same time. And this helps you to set thresholds in bulk for all the devices of the same type. If you wish to set different threshold values for each and every device of the same type, you can very well go ahead and then do that from the device in the inventory. Now let's go to the alarms tab and see how the alarms are categorized and classified. Here you could see critical, trouble, attention, and service down alerts, and you could see the number of the alerts. You can sort them by category and severity, and here is the list of all active alarms. Now let's see how to set up the notification profile. Click on admin, monitoring, and choose notification profiles. To add a new notification profile, click add, and you can see all the type of notification profiles RMM Central offers, like email, email-based SMS, and much more. Let's try to create an email profile. Click on the email profile and provide the two email addresses separated by commas, and you can add multiple email addresses in your CC as well. So you have subject variables and message variables to choose from. Click next, and this is the place where we select the criteria to which the alarm has to be converted as an email. Select the criteria and click next. Here we get an opportunity to select the devices to which this notification profile needs to be applied for. Select the devices, move next, and here we select the time window, delay trigger, and the recurring trigger for this notification profile, and move next. Now we get to see what are the configuration we did on this notification profile and provide a name for this email notification profile and click save. By this, you have successfully created an email notification profile. Likewise, you can do for the rest of the notification profiles as well. Now let's jump into the map section of RMM Central's monitoring. So we have got different type of maps. It helps in the pictorial representation of the devices and its status. First, let's talk about business view. Business view is something which helps you to create a map of the device, understand its status. You can select the customer, the remote office, and you would also be able to see all the devices from that remote office. Drag and drop them to the right, save this one, and you would be able to see the status of these devices at the respective time. Let me click on a created business view, and you could see the different status of different devices in this business view. This helps you to understand real quick about how the status, how that device is performing. We do have Zoho or Google Maps, where you can just place the device right on the exact geolocation of the device itself in the Zoho Maps or in the Google Maps. Just double click on that respective location and you would be able to very well go ahead and then place those devices there to see its status. We also do have 3D flow structures and rack views. So click on the rack view to create the devices in the rack structure to know its status, where you can just place a device, its rear view, and also you can just set to how much units that particular device holds and save them. By this you can see a rack view, and multiple racks can be placed in one 3D data center view. So where you can just click on the 3D flow view and you create a new one. Now let's talk about the important point, reports. There are a lot of out-of-box reports readily available as templates in the report sections, where you could see system reports, health and performance, availability reports, and much more. For example, let me take you to the device availability report. So when you click on that, you get the complete details of the device, IP address, and other details on the availability perspective, where when you wanted to click on the filter, you can just filter the report based on the category, business views, period, and much more. You also have opportunity to export the report on PDF and Excel. And if you wish to schedule this report and send it across to the email, you can just click on more actions, schedule this, and then very well you can schedule the report to get it on your inbox. So there are a lot of other reports which you can go ahead and then try. One another important report which I would love to talk about is advanced reports. This is the place where you can go ahead and then mix and match multiple information, multiple metrics or statistics of a device and get it in a single report. Say for example, from the general properties, I would like to choose device name, category, IP address, and the availability monitors. I wanted to pick up the availability percentage, and from the performance, I wanted to take up the CPU percentage, and there are a lot of other performance monitors of different protocols. Select multiple metrics at the same time and generate one single report, and this can also be very well go ahead and then filter it, and then you can schedule these reports as well. Rather than the default report, you can customize your own reports, and that's what your advanced reports are. The last topic we're going to talk about in the RMM Central monitoring is on dashboards. So all of these data is collected. It is very well generated with proper alerts and then get you notifications on the right time. We want them to be on the dashboards for an easy access. So when you just get into the dashboard, each widget, the one which I moved right here, is called widget. So you can resize them or shape them as well. And you have default widgets which is readily available on a dashboard. You also have multiple dashboards readily created by default. And if you want to create a new dashboard, you can very well go ahead and then click on new dashboard, provide a name of the dashboard, and all the widgets which you see right here can be added to a dashboard. Select the multiple widgets which you would like to add it to one dashboard and then click save. This is how you add a dashboard as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope it added some value to know about the RMM Central's network monitoring module. Thank you for watching the video. Follow us on LinkedIn to know more about on the RMM Central. Would you like to have a personalized product walkthrough? Please click on the link here, and that would help us to reach you out at your comfortable time to let you know more about the product and can help you with the POC, understand your organization's environment, and showcase the benefits of RMM Central in your organization. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.